All right, so get this ready for today's deep dive. Um, we're going somewhere you might not expect.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
The world of luxury public restrooms.
Public restrooms, huh? That's not usually where my mind goes when I think of luxury.
Right. Well, our source material today is this blog post, and it's called Luxurious Public Restrooms You Can't Ignore.
Okay.
And it's from this website, kianmeng.org.
Okay.
The author, Ang, calls himself an old software plumber.
Okay.
And he discovered this restroom, this particular restroom, while he was out on one of his city walks.
Yeah.
And he was just totally blown away by the design.
Interesting. So what is it about this restroom that makes it so luxurious?
Well, when I look at the pictures, one of the first things that struck me was the minimalist aesthetic.
Ah, minimalism. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just so clean and uncluttered.
Yeah.
But you don't really see that often in a public restroom.
Not usually, no. You're more likely to see like, I don't know, bold colors or patterns, maybe some fancy tile work.
Yeah, exactly.
But this restroom Angus talked about, it sounds like it's all about clean lines, limited color palette, and really simple fixtures.
Exactly. And I think that's actually a really good example of how minimalism can create this sense of luxury.
Hmm. So you're saying that minimalism equals luxury in this case?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think when we think of luxury, we often think of, you know, abundance,
Yeah.
rich fabrics, ornate details.
Right. All that good stuff.
But stripping everything back can actually achieve that same feeling, I think.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So it's like by getting rid of all the unnecessary stuff, you're left with only the essentials.
Yeah.
And each of those elements can really shine through.
Right. And it creates a sense of calm and order, which
Yeah.
I think can definitely feel luxurious, especially in a space like a public restroom that's usually, associated with anything but.
Yeah, for sure. It's like they've taken this everyday experience, like using the restroom,
Yeah.
and turned it into something almost spa-like.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the key elements that creates that spa-like feel is the lighting.
Aang mentions that there's this row of large oval mirrors
Okay.
that have illuminated backlights.
Nice.
And I mean, those things really jumped out at me when I looked at the photos.
Yeah, they sound pretty striking. So how do those mirrors contribute to the luxurious feel?
Well, I think the shape and the backlighting are working together to create that effect.
Okay.
So the oval shape softens the overall feel of the room, and then the backlighting adds the soft, diffused light that's incredibly flattering.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It's kind of like the same lighting you see in like high-end spas or hotels.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting, too, how the backlighting creates a sense of depth,
Right.
which makes the space feel larger than it probably is.
Yeah, it's a clever visual trick.
And one of the things I love about Ang's post is that he emphasizes that these design choices are effortless and budget-friendly.
I like that. So you're saying that you don't have to spend a fortune to create a luxurious feel.
Exactly.
Can you give me an example of how they did that in this restroom? Yeah, so instead of using these really expensive custom-made light fixtures, Aang noticed that they used LED strips
Mm-hmm.
that were strategically placed under the mirrors to create that backlit effect.
That's really smart. And LED strips are pretty expensive, right?
Exactly. And they're widely available.
Yeah,
So that's a great takeaway for anybody who's looking to create a similar look in their own space.
absolutely. I'm starting to see how just like even small design choices can make a big impact on the overall feel,
Yeah.
especially with the lighting.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
It really makes you think about all the spaces you've been in where the lighting just felt like off.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Like I remember visiting this friend, um, and they had these super bright fluorescent lights in their living room.
Oh, no.
Felt more like a dentist's office than a place to relax.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, lighting is so important for setting the mood, right?
Right. It's all about creating the right ambiance.
Yeah, and it's amazing how much of a difference it can make. Like, you wouldn't want to have romantic candlelight in a grocery store,
Right. Probably not.
but a dimly lit restaurant with warm, inviting lighting can make all the difference.
Totally. Or think about a bookstore with focused lighting over the bookshelves.
Yeah, it makes you want to just browse for hours.
Exactly. And it's so fascinating how designers use these different techniques
Yeah,
to achieve those effects.
for sure.
It's not just about the brightness. It's also about the color temperature.
Right.
Like, warmer light tends to feel more inviting and relaxing,
Yeah.
while cooler light can feel more energizing or even sterile, like my friend's living room.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about choosing the right light for the right space.
Exactly. So it seems like what we're learning from Ang's blog post is that You don't need a huge budget or a professional designer to create a space that feels luxurious.
That's a really good point. It's more about making smart choices and being intentional with the elements you use.
Right. And that's empowering, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It means that we all have the power to create a sense of luxury in our own lives.
And speaking of Ang, I thought it was kind of interesting that he describes himself as a software plumber on his blog.
Yeah, it does seem a little bit unrelated to design, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I was thinking about it, and I actually think there might be a connection there.
Okay, I'm curious. What do you mean?
Well, think about what a software plumber does, right?
Yeah.
They work behind the scenes, making sure that all the complex systems are working together seamlessly.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
So, are you saying that good design is kind of like software plumbing in a way?
Yeah, in a way.
Like it's about understanding the underlying systems and how all the different elements work together.
Yeah, exactly. It's about that attention to detail, that ability to see the elegance in something seemingly simple
Right.
and to recognize the thoughtfulness behind those choices.
That's a great way to put it. And I think that's a great mindset to have, not just for design, but for approaching anything in life, really.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like Ang's encouraging us to slow down, to observe, to appreciate the thought that goes into creating the spaces we inhabit.
I agree. And that includes even the ones we might typically take for granted.
Exactly. It's about finding the extraordinary in the ordinary
Yeah.
and realizing that design inspiration can really be found anywhere if you're open to it.
Well said.
You know, I have to admit, I never thought I'd be so captivated by a blog post about a public restroom.
Me neither, to be honest.
But Ang has really opened my eyes to the power of design, and I have a feeling I'm going to be looking at these spaces in a whole new light from now on.
I think I will too. It's amazing what a little attention to detail and a thoughtful approach to design can accomplish.
It really is.
And who knows, maybe it will inspire some of our listeners to start paying more attention to the design of their own world as well.
I hope so. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's quickly recap what we've learned so far.
Okay.
First, we saw that even the most mundane spaces, like a public restroom, can be elevated through thoughtful design.
Right. And we also saw how simple choices like choosing a minimalist aesthetic and using smart lighting techniques
Yeah,
can have a huge impact on the overall feel of a space.
exactly. And I think Ang's example of using those LED strips under the mirrors is just a perfect illustration of that.
It really is. And most importantly, we learned that good design doesn't have to be expensive.
Yeah,
It's about being intentional with the elements you use and understanding how they work together to create the effect you're looking for.
exactly. It's about taking the time to observe, to analyze, and to appreciate the thought that goes into creating the spaces we inhabit.
Well said.
So here's a little challenge for our listeners.
Okay.
As you go about your day-to-day, try to pay more attention to the design of the spaces that you encounter.
I love that.
Take note of the lighting, the colors, the layout,
Yeah.
and ask yourself, how does this space make me feel?
Right.
What design choices are contributing to that feeling?
Such a good point.
And then think about how you can apply those principles to your own environment.
Yeah.
Could you use lighting to create a more calming atmosphere in your bedroom?
Yes.
Or maybe a more energizing vibe in your workspace?
Those are great ideas. Remember, design is all around us.
It is.
And it has the power to really shape our experiences in some pretty profound ways.
It really does. So by making conscious design choices, we can create spaces that truly reflect our personality,
Yeah,
support our well-being,
right.
and even make the most ordinary activities feel a little bit more extraordinary.
Beautifully said. I love that.
So on that note, we're going to wrap up this first part of our deep dive into the unexpected world of luxury public restrooms.
It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas with you so far.
Likewise. And we'll see you in the next part for even more fascinating insights.
Sounds good.
So we've been talking about how lighting can really make or break a space.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Ang's post focused specifically on this luxurious public restroom and how they used lighting to create this high-end feel. So I'm curious, what are some other design elements that can contribute to that feeling of luxury, even in a simple space like a bathroom?
Well, let's see. One thing that comes to mind is the color palette.
Okay, yeah.
Using neutral colors like whites, grays, beiges,
Yeah.
those can create a sense of calm and sophistication.
Right, right.
And then, using natural materials
Right.
like wood or stone can also add a touch of luxury, I think.
That's a good point. I'm also thinking about things like texture,
Yeah.
like a fluffy bath mat or a strategically placed plant or even just leaving some empty space on the counter.
Oh, yeah. Negative space is so important.
Yeah.
It's all about creating a sense of balance and harmony.
Right. And remember, minimalism doesn't have to mean stark or bare.
Right.
It's about carefully selecting each element and making sure that it serves a purpose.
Exactly.
So let's bring this back to our listeners.
Okay.
If someone wanted to apply these principles to their own bathroom, what would be your top tip for creating a more luxurious feel?
That's a good question. I would say focus on the lighting first and foremost.
Yeah.
You know, swap out those harsh overhead lights
Yeah.
for softer, warmer bulbs.
Right.
Maybe even add a dimmer switch so you can control the ambiance.
Oh, yeah.
A dimmer switch can instantly transform the mood of a room.
Totally. And if you want to go all out, consider adding some strategically placed accent lighting, like those LED strips that Ang mentioned.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. And remember, you don't have to do everything at once.
Right.
Start small, experiment, and see what works for you.
Right. It's all about finding what feels right for your space.
Yeah, the most important thing is to be intentional and to create a space that reflects your personal style and that makes you feel good.
I think that's the perfect takeaway from this deep dive.
Yeah.
Design is not just for the wealthy or the professionals.
Right.
It's a tool that we can all use to enhance our lives and create spaces that bring us joy and a sense of well-being.
Beautifully said.
So to our listeners, we encourage you to go forth and be the designers of your own world.
Yes. Start by paying attention to the spaces you inhabit
Yeah.
and see how you can use the power of design to make them even better.
Wow.
Who knows? Maybe you'll even find inspiration in the most unexpected places, like a luxurious public restroom.
Exactly. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up this second part of our deep dive.
It's been great chatting with you.
Likewise. And we'll see you back here for the third and final part where we'll delve even deeper into this topic.
Sounds good.
It's funny, right? We often associate luxury with expensive things or exclusive experiences.
Yeah, for sure.
But Ang's blog post about that restroom, it really challenges that idea.
It does, doesn't it? It shows that luxury can be found in unexpected places.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to come with, like, a huge price tag.
Exactly.
It's about being thoughtful, intentional.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a really empowering message for everyone listening.
For sure.
It means we all have the power to create a sense of luxury in our own lives,
Absolutely.
no matter what our budget is.
It all starts with being more mindful of our surroundings,
Right.
paying attention to those little design choices that shape our experiences.
Okay, so Ang's post focused mainly on the lighting.
Right.
But what are some other design elements that can make a space feel more luxurious? Even in a simple space, like a bathroom.
Well, you could think about the color palette, for example, like
Okay.
using neutral colors like
Yeah.
white, gray, beige.
Yeah.
Those can create a sense of calm, a sense of sophistication. And then using natural materials like wood or stone.
Yeah.
Those can also add a touch of luxury, I think.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Ah.
I'm also thinking about things like texture
Oh, yeah. Texture's huge.
and the use of negative space.
Oh, absolutely.
Like having a fluffy bath mat or a plant, strategically placed,
Mhm.
or even just leaving some empty space on the counter can make a difference.
Yeah. It's all about creating that sense of balance
Right.
and harmony.
And minimalism doesn't have to mean stark or bare.
No, not at all.
It's about choosing each element carefully
Right?
and making sure it has a purpose.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say someone is listening to this
Yeah.
and they want to apply these principles to their own bathroom.
Okay.
What would be your top tip for creating a more luxurious feel?
I would say start with the lighting.
Okay.
That's a big one. Swap out those harsh overhead lights
Yeah, the ones we all have.
for something softer, warmer. Maybe add a dimmer switch so you can control the ambiance.
Oh, that's a good idea.
A dimmer switch can make such a difference.
For sure. And if you want to get really fancy, you could add some of that accent lighting, like the LED strips under the mirrors.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. But, you don't have to do it all at once.
Right.
Start small, experiment, see what works for you.
Yeah, play around with it a little bit.
The important thing is to be intentional. Create a space that reflects your personal style and
Yeah.
makes you feel good.
I think that's a perfect way to wrap up this deep dive.
It
Design isn't just for the wealthy or the professionals.
is for everyone.
It's something we can all use to improve our lives
Yeah, absolutely.
and create spaces that bring us joy
Totally.
and that sense of well-being.
Well said.
So to everyone listening, We encourage you to go out there and be the designers of your own world.
Yeah, start paying attention to the spaces you're in
Yeah.
and see how you can use design to make them even better.
And who knows, maybe you'll find inspiration in the most unexpected places.
Like a luxurious public restroom.
Exactly. Well, that's all for this episode of The Deep Dive.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive into a topic we hope will spark your curiosity.
See you then.